Hey students, my name is Scott Fallstrom. I'll be your teacher this term for the online trigonometry class. Mostly online, I should say. It's a little bit different this term as the department has voted to have on-ground exams. So just as you can see behind me, a little shout out to the Mandalorian there. And this is also a little Star Wars thing. So just a tiny Star Wars fan. Don't worry about that. Probably won't show up in the course whatsoever. All right, we're going to talk about a couple things as we get ready for the term. So I'll share my screen here. So what we've got is, this is our homepage. This is our course. And I'm going to kind of walk you through some of the big pieces in the course. On the main page, I didn't put a ton. I don't like homepages that have too many links or click. It's hard to find stuff. So what do you have here? You have the intro video you'll see. You have videos that I've made kind of weekly. And those are kind of set and ready for you to kind of start and get into things. Those are videos based on each section of the course. You've got a Zoom link. So if you're going to pop in for office hours, email me, and this is the Zoom link that I'll use. So it's just quick and easy to find right here. Link to the STEM Learning Centers and a couple links for technology. So let's take a look here at the STEM Learning Centers real quick. Excuse me. Let's see, STEM Learning Centers is a place where you can go to get support, to get help if you get stuck. If you are on campus, they have moved. And since I'm the director, I'll let you know, yeah, it's a very different place now. So let's take a look. They used to be located down here in the library. So just to give you a perspective, here's the clock tower and here's the fountain if you've been on the Oceanside main campus. So you used to kind of walk past the clock tower and the fountain and then turn in and go inside the library. The library has a red fence around it right now on this picture because it's under construction. Same with pretty much everything on campus, to be perfectly honest. It's going to be a little hard to get around. But there's fences everywhere, but these directions kind of show just go past the library, turn in, and the learning centers are now in the administration building, which is known as the 1000 building. If you want writing center, task, STEM learning centers, which is where you're going to be going mostly for this class, that's where we'll be. If you are looking to do something with the library, then the library, you go all the way out and past near campus police. So just so you're aware, if you are going to the library or if you need to use the open computer lab for something else, I would recommend, if you can, if you've got a car, park out near the campus police. There's a parking lot right over here, and you can just walk right over to the library. It's super quick. That's like the quickest way to access those services. For everything else, there's not really, maybe a parking lot 5A is a brand new parking lot as you come up Barnard. It's on the right-hand side. There's a pretty big parking lot there. You just have to walk across the bridge and then kind of make your way through the fences and come on over to the learning centers. Okay. All right. So there we are with that. Yeah, I think that's, maybe I should show a few more things. Okay, so let's take a look here. What else is there? If you don't want to come on campus, they do have online options. You can jump here to enter STEMLC online. The hours, the online hours are listed here. There are late night hours as well as Sunday hours. There's also hours available for all the buildings, Oceanside campus. If you do visit the Community Learning Center, you might be able to get some support there. We don't have quite as many tutors. It's more for adult high school students, but we do have a learning coach there who might be able to provide some assistance. And the San Elijo campus as well is open some hours. Okay. There's a quick little video down here. I also have it included in our Canvas course. I recommend that you watch it to understand what we do, how we do it. So yeah, you can enter Zoom and just pop in real quick. There is a drop-in schedule down here that'll be posted, and it'll tell you like, here's my class, what hours and what days can I come in and get tutoring support. There's also an option to drop off a question. If you want to drop off a question, that goes to a Canvas site that is not our class. So sometimes you might want to ask a question not of me, which is fine. Some of our tutors and coaches might respond to those. And then lastly, there's tutoring session information. Now, this is if you want to make a scheduled appointment. We have scheduled appointments on campus and online. Most of the time, to be honest, if you have a question, jump into the drop-in option because it's open, it's ready to go. It's the wait times right now are about 2 minutes typically from the time you get in there, kind of get yourself situated in a Zoom breakout room, or if you're on campus as well, it's right about 2 minutes. So You don't have to wait that long. You get a tutor in there. You can ask a question, keep working, ask another question later. It's just a really good tool. So I hope that you'll take advantage of this term. And there's, again, other resources available on the side if you're interested. Services provided, for example, we do provide service and support for the Spark program. So if you're missing some key math concepts from prior courses, you might be able to jump into the Spark program, which is a free self-paced Canvas tool that you can use to brush up on those things. All right, let's jump back to our course. So here we are again in our course. So I said you can check out Scott's videos. They are all me. So I guess you gotta tolerate that a little bit. I have put videos here on how to get started with the homework product that we'll be using, which is XYZ homework. There is a cost to the XYZ homework. So if you need to buy it through the bookstore to use financial aid money, it's available through the bookstore. You can also buy from their website, and there is a little bit of a savings if you buy from their website. Let's see if I've got that available for you here. Okay. Yep. There it is. So this is the email that I sent out, I guess over a week ago to everybody who was enrolled in the course at the time. So if you were not in the course at the time, you may not have gotten this email. I'll probably post it as an announcement as well, so it's available. But there is a link here that takes you to the XYZ homework where you can buy the digital version for only $45. And the digital plus print book was $68. So if you like a physical book to flip through, find pages and examples, you can do that. But I did contact the company and they gave me a promo code that gives you $10 off any of their books. It's really just the book part. So if you wanted to get like, I want the digital, but I also want the physical book, it's now down to $58. So it's like you pay $13 for that book. I don't know. It seems like it's a pretty good deal. Some of the other textbooks out there, the online services were $140. And the textbook itself, if you wanted the textbook, was another 100. So I tried to get something that's pretty reasonable price, but here's a screenshot as well. So you can kind of see, there it is. There's the ISBN that's in the bookstore. If you do buy it in the bookstore, I think it's $55 for the digital. They always have a markup because they got to stay in business. But if you want to buy it straight from the company, the code that you purchase will work just fine. And the code is an all access pass. I believe it's good for 1 entire year. So if somebody else, another teacher uses XYZ homework, everything that they have available is there for just one price. You don't have to pay extra for those. All right, so there's a little bit about that. And let's see. I want to get back over to our course. So let me share our course site one more time. Okay. So again, this is the kind of way the class is. I do a section. I'll cover the section itself, and then I'll do follow-up questions. So I've got the follow-up questions from that happened last term, which I think will be helpful. But if you have additional questions, I will make additional videos to go along with each one of them. So if you're stuck on something, let me know. I'll pop a video out, post it up there, and everybody can benefit from it. So I think that's a really, really helpful piece. You'll see, I also have videos on how to prepare for the exams. So a lot of stuff is out there. A lot of stuff is out there for you. There's also, when we do proficiency portions with the calculator, I show you how to use Studio, which is a tool inside of Canvas to do the video, record it, save it, upload it, and get credit for that piece. Okay, let's jump back to the homepage real quick. So again, that's always available. It's right there on the main page. Check out Scott's videos. Boom, right there. Let's see here. Down below. Oh, we have some other tools. So you will be required to do some things with graphing calculators. That is part of the department policy currently. I am trying to fix that because I'm not a big fan of just a graphing calculator. I'd prefer tools like Desmos or GeoGebra. If you haven't used Desmos or GeoGebra, I'm going to click on it briefly. I'll click on the graphing calculator button in the middle. And this link opens up to what looks like a nice graph. Well, here's why. So I'm sure some of you are like, why does he not like a graphing calculator? Because it's like $150 and your phone can do all of Desmos right on your phone if that's what you want. I mean, and you've already got a phone. If you don't have a phone, this right here Desmos can be used on any computer. So if you leave your calculator somewhere, it's gone for good. But if you have Desmos, it's never. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in f of x equals, and for our class, I'll do cosine of x just to show you. Okay, this is a cosine function. And we're going to learn about those this term. I don't expect you to know that right off the bat. But what is great about Desmos, take a look. Look at this. It's marking all of the important points. It's marking all of the intercepts for me. I can click on them to see the coordinates. It is labeling them in terms of pi, right? Look at this. I've got the minimums, maximums are labeled so I can find them quickly. That's pretty convenient. Okay. Not only that, if I type it as f of x, I can type in f of pi over 3. I mean, take a look at that, right? So now what I'm doing is I'm saying, give me the input for pi over 3 and show me where that's going to be. Well, pi over 3, the output is 0.5. You can also click a button up here to turn it into a fraction or back from a fraction. You can go forwards and backwards. That's kind of a cool tool, right? Okay. All right. What else can we do with? Oh my goodness. Yeah, this thing is so okay. Graphing calculators are about a decade behind where this thing is. And I know because I used graphing calculator when I was going to high school. That was a while ago. So what I'm going to do, I want you to watch this. I'm going to put in some what are called sliders. Okay, I'm going to remove this one. So take a look. See all these letters that I just added? I put an A, a B, a C, and a D. What I'm doing is I'm basically saying I want to be able to control the value of the A. So I want it to be a different number all the time. When I click this, see how there's an A out here? I can grab the slider and change the value of A, and you can look on the screen and you can say, oh my goodness, I can see exactly what's happening to that value. Oh, so if I put in a really big number, it stretches it vertically, right? And what if I put a negative number? Whoa, it flips over. Okay, okay. And a negative number that's very large negative, it begins stretching as well. Okay, so now you get that idea. What about B? B is a number in here. What does B do? Oh, look at this. If I bring B up, you can see that it's kind of sucking everything in towards the y-axis. This would be known as a horizontal compression as we bring it like a spring, right? Think about a spring. It's compressing. But if I go the other direction, I go smaller. Now I'm stretching it. So I have vertical stretches, horizontal stretches. Not only that, I have shift. I could move it left or right by dragging this slider, and I could move it up or down by the bottom one. There's so much to control about these functions. Everything that you've seen from your Math 126 Pre-Calculus 1 class, everything you saw there about function transformations is coming back. It's coming back to you and it's in your face. Look at this. This is great. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. I can do everything with this function that I need to. And in the bonus part of the course, we'll later learn how we can do some fun functions and be able to twist them and rotate them and on top of it. So, so many tools here. So this is Desmos. Okay. Now, some of you, like maybe you have never used Desmos. I'll leave Desmos. That's all right. And maybe you haven't. That's okay. The other one is GeoGebra. So I go right down here to what do I want to do? I'll probably do Calculator Suite. Okay, so I click on Calculator Suite. Now this is just a standard calculator down here at the bottom, but the graphing is done up here. So once again, I could put in f of x equals cosine of x. And if you take a look, I have the same points. It lets me know in this case that it's an extremum, which means a min or a max. It says negative 6.28. If I click on this one, is negative 3.141592658. That's pi. So there's pi, and we get something like over here is pi over 2. And you can see it even tells you this is a root, which means that's where it touches the x-axis. And over here, I have an extremum and a y-intercept. So roots of a function form that on the x-axis, their x-intercepts. Vertical intercept, the y-intercept is not listed as a root of the function. Okay, so very similar tools here. To me, these again can be totally downloaded for free, 100% free on your phone. You might not be able to use all of them for different exams. I will probably, especially since you're taking them in the APC for those, if you're using technology, I'll probably put some of those tools available to you. but we'll see there are other tools available as well. Okay. Well, let's just say I wanted to get started here. Click right down here on the Let's Get Started. If you go back to it, there's a little link up here to modules, and there'll be a link on the side to modules. Everything is listed by modules. So I'm going to click on modules actually, because I think that's, oops, got a little click happy there. So here we go. Now, if you look through, if you've been in Canvas, sometimes like you just, everything's all there. It gets a little intimidating. My recommendation, come up and click collapse all, and then open up the thing you're working on. All right. Now, as you open up the one that you're working on, what's going to happen, right? You can go through it in order and nothing else is there. So, and once you finish something, you can simply close it with this little triangle over here and open up the next one that you're working on. Now, let me show you why that is so cool, okay? Because if I go back to the home, which means I'm logging in for my next session, I click on modules, it takes me back to the one I was working on, not to the beginning. So if you've tried to use modules before and it always, you have to scroll down every time, collapse things, collapse the module when you're done with it. All right, so things kind of work our way through. Introduction is pretty quick, to be perfectly honest. It is meant to be very quick. Survey is here, a brief survey. There's a quick little quiz about the STEM Learning Centers. Look at their website, right? Watch the little video, answer a few quick questions so you know what support is available. And then I have a few practice activities. These are meant to be very quick. If you've done anything in Canvas before, they should be super fast. And I mean super fast, okay? So you're gonna have a sample discussion board, a getting started quiz, which is very quick, and then a homework PDF submission, okay? I'm gonna ask you at times to be uploading things as a PDF, taking pictures of them, put them in a Google Doc, save it as a PDF and upload. I need you to practice it. Some of you are going to have to take screenshots or pictures of what you did on paper and then put them into a document and save it as a PDF. I need you to practice that so we're ready when it comes time for exams. Okay. And in the discussion board, I'm going to, one of the pieces I ask you to do is to find a screenshot. You're going to screenshot something and upload and embed it. We do not attach files here when we're putting in screenshots. If you attach a file, somebody has to download it to view it. Every student here, if you embed it, they can see it right away. And that's what we're going to be doing. Next module is the syllabus. The introductions piece is the one that I'll probably talk about here. I am going to ask you to do a video introduction. If you've never done one before, yes, there's a lot of options you can do. You can use the studio icon, and you can actually create a video like on your cell phone separately and then upload that video into Studio. That's your choice. You can record using Studio right there, but I'm going to ask you to make a video recording. We're in this class for 17 weeks. And I'd like us to kind of get to know each other. That way you feel like when we do discussions, if you want to have a study group, if you want to get together with me and meet up with a couple people, you got to know a few people, because I'm telling you, the more communication you have with others, the easier the class becomes. Sometimes they see a way to do something that you didn't and vice versa. And if you're both stuck, I can help two people at once and I think you'll both be in a better place. So I really hope that you are able to do this. I put an intro myself in here because why not? Make sure you kind of see how to do it. There's my intro video. I did use Studio for this. And make sure when you do Studio that you do not allow comments, okay? If you allow comments, people will comment on it, but the grading program cannot see the comments. So it doesn't look like you did what was required. So requirements, you got to post this and then post a reply to at least 5 different people. You can do more. You might be like, oh, it's so cool you're in this class. I remember you from another class. Or I have no idea who you are, but you have some cool hobbies and I'm on the same boat. I'm going to be a future nurse. I'm going to go into mathematics. I'm going to go into upper level sciences, whatever. So get to know each other a little bit. All right. Let's see, what else do I want to look at today? Oh, I'll click back on modules. And because I didn't collapse it, it starts me at module 0. Let's see here. You got a little bit of a quiz, some expectation stuff. These are all due on day 1, which is coming very soon. And then the rest of the items start with day 2, an introduction to the ebook. How do I get linked up with them? viewing the ebook because that's available for all of you. And this, if I click on the ebook, sometimes it says it sucks to launch inside of Canvas. So just click the little button, it'll open in another page. And that's where you can go and select the section that you want to look at. So here I am, I'm in section 5.1. And up here on the side, there's a little tools button. My face might be blocking it, but if you click on tools, what you'll see is as you go through, when you get to examples, like here's example 1, here's some things A, B, and C. And what you can do is you can select different people, different, as they call them, instructors. Some of them are students, former students in the classes. And they have made videos kind of walking you through how to do these problems. From time to time, if not, they tried to get more and more. They're building up their list, but there are some that are done in Spanish with closed captions. So if you prefer that, you can start to see a person and be like, I like Ryan's explanations. I'm going to watch Ryan. Or actually, I really like the way Molly does it. I'm going to choose Molly. Okay. So you can click on those and follow. So if I click on Molly for an example, there she is. I don't think I'm sharing sound, so I'm going to share sound here.
We're given 2 angles, and for each angle we want to find 2 other angles that are coterminal with it.
Okay, so if I came down here to example 2, I can see, oh, she's doing 135 and -60. Those are exactly the ones I could do in this example, and I can see, in this case, Molly, work through it step by step. Now, I'll also be doing some of those. I have a video that kind of takes you through the whole section. These are little bite-sized pieces just for those examples if you wanted to watch somebody else. Okay. So the ebook is available if you haven't had access to textbooks in a while. Maybe you're new to college. The textbooks we use do have answers in the back of the book. So if you're looking at chapter 5, section 1, you want to go through some problems in the book, click on answers, and you will see all of the odd answers are listed here in the back of the book for those problems. When I should say, when you get ready for an exam, chapter review exercises are every other, just like before, every odd problem. But the chapter test, every single problem, every one of them, all of them are listed here. So you get the answers to all of those to help you review. All right. Yeah, and so then we get into the stuff. The first, we don't have really a trig one due until kind of the second day of class, if you will. And then from that point on, the best way to view what's coming is, let me jump to student view. So I'm going to go to student view because if I was a student, what would I see? So if I was a student, this is what I would see. I'd see a list of all these assignments. And actually, I'm going to click on one because I want to show you the frustration some students do have. Module 0. Here we go. Sample discussion board. I click on it and it says, ooh, this is locked. The following requirements needed to before the page will be unlocked. So I have to do some things because I've set the course up that you kind of have to go in order later in the course. So I want you to get ready and used to it at the beginning. So if you're stuck and it says it's locked, simply click on modules. Modules will open. And what you'll see is it says module 0 course introduction. And then after that, do you see how all these are grayed out? They open as soon as you do the thing that you are supposed to do in this particular area. So let me show you here. Right here, you can see module 0, and right underneath it, you see view. So in this case, all I have to do is view that page and it will open up the next page. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to click on it. I click on module 0. I have a chance now to read through it. Got it. Okay, I read it. I actually put some fun little tools in there for you to play around with if you're interested. Okay. And then I say, okay. At that stage, most of you will probably click the next and just move to the next page, but I want to show you what has happened now. If I click back on modules, I can look and see I now have a green check mark for the first one, and the second one is now open and ready to go. If you just go through it and click next, and then click next, and then click next, you will move through in order. You won't miss anything. Okay, nothing to miss. In order to get to the next module, you have to complete everything in the first module. So again, in this class, it builds on itself. So when we get into chapter 6 and chapter 7, you've got to have the knowledge from chapter 5. Most everything that I'm setting up has a view requirement. Does that make sense? You have to just view it. I'm asking you, there's a page that might say, hey, look at my video. Awesome. Just view it. That way you will always know where you are in the course. Okay, you'll know exactly where you got to. Okay, then later you can jump back around. You can move around if you want to, but you'll know by doing it this way. Okay, let's see here. What else? On the home screen, if I'm a student, I will see what is due. But again, if you've been in other classes and all you ignore everything the teacher's posted and you just jump to an assignment, you're going to be frustrated probably right off the bat. Get used to kind of going to the modules, working through in order. You will not miss anything. Okay. I also, as we start the term, you'll see announcements posted up here on top. Those will be showing up. The last 2 announcements will always be there. You can always check on the announcements once they're there. There'll be a link on the side to jump to announcements. If I was a student, I'd also want to check out the syllabus. So here's our syllabus. Let's see here. And if you click on it, there's a download option right there, but you can click on it here and it comes as an overlay and you can kind of go through the document of the syllabus. I love teaching, so I tried to make this syllabus kind of fun. And I've included a lot of things that research has shown are helpful for students. So yes, it's a little bit colorful and it does have some text, but I hope that you'll take a chance to at least skim through all the pieces and make some notes to yourself about the key components, right? Class culture is important. And how do I make contact with students? How do you get in touch with me, right? So you're going to see all these ways that I do it, but I'm available. If it's not working for you, let me know and say, hey, Scott, can we meet up on Zoom? Can I meet up with you in person? I'm on campus every day on the Oceanside campus. So you can come and meet with me. You can go into my office. We can go to over to the STEM LC. I can meet you anywhere. I can also meet you online in Zoom. Most days I can meet pretty much every time period. Last term, I had some people who needed to, like they were working and we met. One met at 10 o'clock at night, another met at midnight, which is fine. I'm usually up anyway. So if you have questions, I will do my best to make sure that I'm available for you. These pieces of the syllabus, you'll notice they become part of kind of the module assignments. So what expectations do you have? This is going to be turning into an assignment. So if you read the syllabus, you think about it now, you'll be ready for that. I do talk a little bit about my philosophy. I don't really like memorization a ton. At times, I think we just need to get familiar with it. But if you're memorizing too much, you're not really learning. So you have to have these spaced practices over time. I think that's really important as we go. Let's see here. There's other people on campus who are here to support you. And then I talk about our textbook. Again, $45 from the publisher, $55 from the bookstore. And there's a coupon to save $10 extra. We will be using graphing calculators either in the form of Desmos, GeoGebra, or the TI-83. If you have one, a TI-83, TI-84, that's great. You can use it. If you, during like exams, I might get an emulator that loads up on screen, and that's what you'll use on your studio videos as well. But that's free. So if you have a calculator, that's great. If you do not have one, you do not need to buy one. I don't really have a desire for that. So I follow all academic accommodations with SAS. If you have an accommodation, please get in touch with them and they will contact me and get me the information so that you have exactly what you need to succeed. Let's see here. What else do we have? I have some pieces about your responsibility. Remember, in an online class, you have to plan ahead. You should be doing stuff almost every day, and you have to do the first day assignment requirement. There have been a ton of fraudulent students lately. I am required to drop students who do not participate, who do not complete what is required. And so again, if you don't make progress for multiple consecutive days, including weekends, like I'm required to like reach out, make sure you're okay. And then if you're like, I'm just no responses, I'm supposed to drop you to make sure that you're not a fraudulent student. Yeah. Classroom courtesy, we use Netiquette or Net Etiquette. That's posted as one of your little activities to go through. There's information here about SURF. There's information about online orientations called SOAR, Student Online Registration and stuff. So I recommend that you take that, even if you've been through an online orientation before. It's like an hour and it's so worth it. tons of resources available, how to use Canvas, how to put your settings in Canvas so you don't miss anything. It's fantastic. Last piece I need to talk about, sadly, I taught the course previously, and there was a massive outbreak of not COVID. It was not an outbreak of COVID. It was a massive outbreak of cheating, academic dishonesty. I maybe students think that teachers don't check. Maybe for a while teachers weren't checking to see if you were cheating, but when you're submitting something that is clearly not your own work, I'm actually pretty sadly for those students. I was checking repeatedly, and so I think I think I almost lost half the class to cheating. It was very excessive. Yes, I do report that to the Office of Student Affairs, and that does have the chance to go on your permanent record as you transfer. So I'd like to not do that this term. So if you're frustrated or struggling and you're like, oh, I think the only way I'm going to pass this test is to cheat, maybe come and talk to me and say, hey, Mr. Falstrom, I'm really struggling. I need to know what to do. What can I do different? What can I do better? Okay, so let's try to make that try to make this a positive term and not one where you have to violate policies in order to try to get through the class. Okay, let's see here. Everything in green is about grades. Green is grades. So I talk about a time commitment. My expectation is 4 hours in class, 8 hours outside of class. That's the typical for an on-campus class. Same is true for online. So what I want you to think about is about 4 hours a week are going to be kind of learning material. That's you watching my video, that's reading the book, that's doing additional problems, exercises, and examples. But those other 8 hours are you studying for the exam, you preparing, you reviewing material, and completing homework activities. Okay, that's 12 hours a week. 12 hours a week. So rule of thumb, you might need more up front, more down the road. I don't know. Every student's different, but about 12 hours a week. And that's 204 hours. So in the past, I know some students have said, oh, I want to spend about 2 or 3 hours a week on this. That is not this class. You will not succeed if you're putting in that little time. So make sure, set an adjustment at the beginning and say, okay, I understand what's expected of me. I can do this. And I will be there the whole time to support you. Here's the breakdown. Midterm exams, 20% each, final 20%. Unit quizzes, video demonstrations, those are 10% total. And Canvas homework and discussions, 5% each, 10% total. A few pieces in here. I recommend you read them because it says, how many will I drop, right? And I do use late passes. Look, life happens, right? You're in the middle of something and then something pops up. I got to go take care of my mom. My grandpa needs this. Oh, my daughter's in trouble. Life happens. So for homework or those online quizzes, anything that's online through the Canvas piece with the XYZ homework, anything like that, you can use a late pass on. You do not need to reach out and say, oh, I'm 2 days late. Okay. Each late pass gives you 24 hours. So if you're 3 days late, you use 3 late passes. That's it. I've given you a chunk of late passes, a large chunk of late passes. Feel free to use those. You do not have to come and justify, oh, I wasn't feeling well. That's why I've been away for a day or two. No, don't need to do that. Exams are going to be taken through the Academic Proctoring Center, APC. You can also use an approved proctoring site, but those are a little bit harder to find. So typically I recommend just get used to coming to campus. You're going to have to come to campus 4 times this term, once for each of the exams. You are responsible for booking your time in the APC. Exam chunks are 2 hours long. There will also be some Zoom test portions where, because I don't want you on campus for every little bit, you can take some of them at home. But if you take these pieces, you have to have access to Zoom, and it's going to auto record. You got to have audio and video on, so I know that you are the one doing the work. Okay. And we can practice that as well if you need to. I don't give extra credit. Honest, some people get frustrated by that, but the point of this course is that you understand trigonometry. Not that you don't understand trigonometry, but you've done some other things to get points. That doesn't help you going forward. But what I will do, I think, is on some of the exams, I will overpoint them. So for example, like on the final, maybe the final has 210 points, but I score it out of 200. So you can think of that as extra credit. I don't. I think of it as you being able to demonstrate your knowledge in different ways. Okay. Let's see here. I got the course objectives, student learning outcomes. Please take a look at those. I put some tips on how to study math, and I'll probably add a few more study techniques down the road. and some services that are available on campus. You got a ton of services at MiraCosta, an absolute ton. This guide at the top is like, this should be your best friend because it is packed with information. Hey, Scott, you know what? Oh man, I lost my job. I'm hungry. Is there anything we can do? Is there food? Yes, there's a food pantry. What Scott? Oh, I need to be able to get to campus, but is there any way that they can help and assist with finding a transportation for me? Yes. They have, in the past, they've done things like Uber rides. They get you decreased bus pass rates so you can get around. Just tons of resources. Take advantage of the resources. And then down at the bottom, you'll see a schedule of topics. This is tentative, but it's pretty darn close. What I do is I put the sections here, and you'll see all of those also in the syllabus. I put the testing windows here, and all other information that you might need, I hope is available here for you. Okay, so that's the printed syllabus. I'll attach that to my first email as well. But while you're in the syllabus page, it also takes you to the calendar. The calendar right up here shows what's coming up, so you can see when anything is due. Okay, so take a look. So if I click on the 11th of March, it'll show me what's due on the 11th of March. Got it. So there's a discussion board post, there's a review, and a homework set. What's due on the 7th of March? Well, one homework. Okay. All right, so you can see the whole term. The whole term's here. You can plan your schedule around it. But if you want testing dates, the testing dates are going to be on the syllabus. So take advantage of those as we kind of block those out. You can also click on the calendar on the side, and that's where you're going to make Zoom appointments. So you can click on this calendar. This should show you everything from every class. And right now I can see everything that's due for my class. You can go forward and say, well, give me another week, give me another month. What does it look like? Here's everything. Here's everything. Okay, there we go. So those are the fun facts, features, options as we kind of take a look at our course. Let's see, I think, did I get everything? Midterms, late passes, books. Oh, the book that I ordered is a full pre-calculus book. We will be starting in chapter 5. Chapters 1 through 4 are the stuff you've covered in pre-calc 1. So it's there as a resource for you. If you've forgotten something, you're like, ooh, I need to look it up. You don't have to go buy another book. It's right there. Everything's included for you. So I hope that works out really well. If you have any questions, issues, concerns, problems, please let me know as soon as possible. I am here. I want you to succeed this term. I love it when students succeed. That's the greatest thrill. So I look forward to a great term with you, and hopefully you're ready to go. Thanks a lot. I'll see you soon.